And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to being your consumer advocate. It's all about helping you understand your buying decisions. Intelligent Talk Radio here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We want to help you win in any marketplace, 80 different show partners, consumer advocate approach, lots of local businesses supporting this show. So we appreciate all those who are reaching out, and we've had an uptick in calls lately, so we greatly appreciate that. 813-670-7372 is our consumer advocate hotline. It's an off-air number, 813-670-7372, and we want to help you win with your real estate, credit, finance, estate and tax planning, insurance, wealth advice, so much more here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Bookmark our website, consumerqb.com, and welcome to the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Realty. Let's introduce our expert contributors here today. We've got the insurance quarterback, Mr. Doug Levi, back on the show here. Welcome to the show, Doug.
Hey, always good to see you, Brandon.
Yes, sir.
Good to be Zooming with you. Wish we were in person, but good to be on, man.
That's right. Yeah, hopefully for just another few weeks here, we'll be past this Rona stuff going on. But talking about a side hustle, great time to reinvent yourself in business and really work on personal development as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So great time to be doing that. Always like to try and share something encouraging with our listeners, especially in this time right now. So just came across this morning, and this is from Joshua 1:9. This is my command: be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord God is with you wherever you go. So hopefully our listeners out there take heart, be encouraged. Don't let fear captivate you right now. And we're going to get through this, and this will pass. So right now we're seeing a lot of activity, Brandon, on our insurance side hustle opportunity. And it's a great time if you're looking to do something part-time, remote. 95% of us right now are being, at home and looking for something to do. We offer a very legitimate opportunity, and we show people how to get into the home and auto insurance business. And we really call it a virtual home and auto insurance specialist, where you can do home and auto insurance right from your home, anywhere in Florida, anywhere in the country even. And you can check out insurancesidehustling.com. We've seen a tremendous uptick in just the interest of this, and been helping bring a lot of people on board right now. And so we're really excited about that. We want to be a force for good in the community.
Yeah, I like that. That's awesome stuff. Doug Levi, more from Doug coming up in just a moment. I want to introduce as well our financial advisor, a.k.a. wealth coach here, Anthony Ornella, joining us on the Consumer Quarterback Show as well. Jerrod Bunch Consulting, welcome to the show.
Brandon, always a pleasure to be here. All those consumers that are listening in during this tough time, thank you for tuning in today and sharing that most valuable resource, your time. I'm excited to jump back into the wealth building series, the 4 challenges of wealth building series. We're going to pick up with part 3. We took a little Corona intermission, and we're going to get back to it. But, we are going to get through this. It's a great time to start positioning yourself to capture any opportunities that surely will be headed your way.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the quote that you sent us as well. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. So that's very interesting. It reminds me of the story of Thomas Edison when he was inventing the light bulb. He would put himself into those naps, those kind of cat naps, where his mind would go into that state, and it would allow him to access his RAS, his reticular activation system in his brain. So awesome quote, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, good old Albert Einstein always comes up with some good ones.
Absolutely. All right, so we got our 2 expert contributors here coming up in just a moment. I want to thank our sponsor, Golf Cart Depot. Huge shout out to Marty and his whole team over at Golf Cart Depot. Reach out; it's a great time to buy a fun toy. Enjoy life, enjoy your downtime, and it's a great time. I love loading my 2 dogs up. I've got Carter and Charlie. Take them for rides around the neighborhood, just getting out of the house. Let them run on the side of the golf cart. And they've got 2 locations right here in Tampa Tampa Bay, Land O'Lakes, and also in Clearwater. And they are offering a bring the golf cart to you test drive. So test drive these golf carts at your home. So if you're bored in your home, reach out to Golf Cart Depot. Say, hey, bring me a test drive. I want to test drive these things. And they've got mobile repair as well, new and used, pre-owned, and refurbished. So I've got the beautiful Keller Williams red golf cart at my home, and I love it. I tell you, I just get out there and get on the boats with Freedom Boat Club. I drive the RV around, the golf cart around, and we got it wrapped. So big shout out to Bob Burmaster over at Image 360. Put our Keller Williams wraps on the golf cart. So reach out to Golf Cart Depot. Let them know that the real estate quarterback sent you. Take them up on those special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, so a couple of hot listings here from our real estate team. The first one I wanted to let you know about is beautiful Lake Tarpon property at 520 George Street South, Tarpon Springs. Waterfront on Lake Tarpon. Bring your boat, your jet skis, your paddle boards, and your fishing appetite, because this lake is full of bass and a lot of great fishing done on Lake Tarpon here in Tampa Bay. 520 George Street South, Tarpon Springs. It's on the east side of Lake Tarpon, which is a 2,500 acre lake. It's the largest lake in the entire Tampa Bay area. A lot of people say, oh, I live on a big lake in Odessa. Well, if you look at the size of Lake Tarpon versus some of the lakes in Odessa, it's huge. So they also have restaurants on the lake. Beautiful lake style living here at 520 George Street South. Now, there's also a mother-in-law suite included. So you got an additional rental income producing property right on site, no HOA. So it's a great opportunity to own real estate here in Tampa Bay. 422 Wildwood Way in Bel Air. This is a gorgeous home that we just listed, beautifully updated, beautiful ownership pride showing through in this property at 422 Wildwood Way, Bel Air. It's surrounded by beautiful golf courses, awesome beach opportunities right around the corner. Just listed, wonderful part of Tampa Bay, which is Bel Air. If you haven't heard of Bel Air, check it out. 422 Wildwood Way here in Tampa Bay. Beautiful properties. Check out all of our listings at PlatinumMVPTeam.com. That's PlatinumMVPTeam.com. All right, let's jump into it. I want to go back to Doug Levi. Strategic Insurance, InsuranceSideHustle.com is one of his websites. So what are you seeing out there, Doug? What's kind of the pulse of the market from what you're seeing?
Yeah, so again, right now we're seeing a lot of interest in our insurance side hustling opportunity. Really seeing a big uptick in this. People looking for things to do at home where they can generate income. And we know everyone needs insurance. We've seen strong marketplace even with everything going on. And people having to cut back in other areas. Insurance is still typically looked at as that necessity. You gotta have it. So we're excited. We're seeing a lot of people come on board with that. People can check out InsuranceSideHustling.com. If they've got more info, we're always happy to have a Zoom meeting with them or conversation. We do trainings every Monday at 10:30. We've got this all over the country now. We have advisors now in California and Pennsylvania, other states as well. Most of our base is certainly here in Florida, and our agency provides all the systems, the support. We show you how to get going. We teach you everything you need to know, and we're having a lot of fun with it. So that's been a real positive right now.
Yeah, I like that. And for the homeowners out there as well, you own a home, you own a car. What a great time with all this downtime. We're knocking out some of the honey-do lists. Some of us are investing in personal development. We're doing online courses. We're increasing our marketability as a human being, as a person in the employment sector. Great time to start the side hustle, but also a great time to get a review, Doug. People, a lot of times, they don't understand what's in there. What's my flood? What about the wind policy? Yeah. Should I have separate supplements for, this art gallery or collection of sure. jewelry that I have? Talk about that for me.
Yeah, no doubt. And the other thing, so if you're just kind of looking at the marketplace right now, we're working and helping a lot of business owners right now, just kind of navigate through the insurance, lots of questions around business income, and we're working through that with them. We are doing right now a $27 Amazon gift card challenge, and it's just an opportunity to review your home, your auto, your business insurance. We'd love to try and save you some money. So again, to your point, Brandon, we're finding a great interest in that. People got a little bit more time on their hands, and maybe things that were more of a set it and forget it. You've been with a certain carrier or some things for years and years, and maybe just haven't really paid it as much attention. right now we're certainly seeing that people are really reviewing and looking to save money. And that's what we're all about. We love helping clients save money. And, just the other day, we helped a client review their home and auto and business insurance, happened to be a veterinarian, and we were able to save them thousands of dollars a year, add back some coverages they didn't even know they didn't have. And it was just a matter of taking that time to do that review.
Wow. Yeah, that can definitely help save you, money. And even myself, we had a policy in place. We looked at it. We had a former friend that was supposedly looking after us. And no, it didn't have certain documents on file. I think it was all we needed was an elevation certificate. Come to find out, we paid $700-800 more than we needed to. And that's when we switched over to Doug and his team. And they have been on the ball with everything since. And I cannot highly recommend, any one of our partners higher than Doug Levi and his team. They do a great job over there at Strategic Insurance. TampaBayInsurance.com, by the way, is the website.
Yeah. No, thanks, Brandon. Again, we'd love to be giving out these gift cards during this time. It's just one more way for us to have some fun, help people with, getting some of the necessities of life they need with that Amazon gift card. So it's really a great opportunity to review, and one of our advisors will be in touch, and we'll do a full policy analysis.
Absolutely.
We shop over 20 carriers for you. So we'd love that opportunity to help anybody out there.
Yeah, text insurance, text review to our hotline if you'd like to get in touch with Doug Levi, Strategic Insurance, $27 Amazon gift card. Either way it goes, if you can save some money or not, either way.
Exactly.
Text review, insurance review to 813-670-7372. And when we come back, we have our feel-good story of the day, more from our two expert contributors as well on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And find out about this teacher walking 5 miles a day to deliver free food and school meals to kids who need it most. Stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Check out consumerqb.com.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
But this is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with Dancing with the Stars.
62 Who Knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill. But actually, it's our 39th week. 62 Who Knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember it.
Yes.
To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards.
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections for
Battles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left hand white, and then they catch the left hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
as your super connector. We want to introduce you to our 50-plus show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back the right. We've got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step image. I love that image because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. Mm-hmm. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. And I just want to take a quick moment here to thank our first responders, military veterans, nurses, doctors, physicians, assistants, anybody in that field. We just want to thank you with all of our hearts and appreciate everything that you're doing for us out there and fighting this coronavirus. And we really appreciate you. And thanks for tuning into the show. We appreciate you as well. If you're tuning in, maybe you can watch us online as well on our smart televisions at Apple, Amazon, and Roku, just by searching Binge Networks. Of course, we're 4 o'clock drive time right here on AM 860 The Answer. We do have a Sunday show on FM 102.5 The Bone as well. Thanks for tuning in. This segment is brought to you by Replenish IV Solutions, the science of nutritional balance, vitamins, minerals, electrolytes, even the Myers cocktail directly injected through a vitamin infusion drip right into your bloodstream. So at this time, more than ever, I can't think of a better time to reach out to Stephen and Lisa Gunnan over at Replenish IV Solutions, and they do make house calls. They will deliver this to your home or office, and it's Replenish IV Solutions, the science of nutritional balance. They do have an office in Carrollwood, right there at Bears and Del Mabry, beautiful office, Bears and Del Mabry, and also on Gandy Boulevard in South Tampa. Vitamin infusion drips, compliments of Stephen and Lisa Gunnan, Replenish IV Solutions. Make sure you let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you and take them up on those special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And as you know, I'm the owner of the Platinum MVP team. I'm a top listing agent here, published author, professional speaker, and I've got a feature coming out in Florida Realtor magazine being featured this month for the month of May coming up. So real excited about that. We'll be sharing that with you guys as well. But we got a couple of properties that the owners are super motivated. We made special offers here, 8325 West Hillsborough Avenue in Tampa. The owner is motivated on this one. He's listed at mid 400s and looking for offers at 8325 West Hillsborough Avenue in Tampa. This is a freestanding office building on Hillsborough Avenue in Town and Country, and it's got tons of signage as well out by the road, 50,000 cars a day going by, and it is a great buying opportunity. If you're paying rent as a business owner, you might want to look at 8325 West Hillsborough Avenue in Tampa. A beautiful conference room, a kitchen, security system, completely fenced in, plenty of parking, and a large building here in Tampa Bay. Easy access to all things Tampa Bay here at 8325 West Hillsborough Avenue. And we also have some vacant land available. Any builders, developers, looking at, hey, this is a great time for me to start a project once we pull out of this coronavirus. You're looking at a great opportunity to build at 4214 Peaceful Lane in Land O'Lakes. This is a gorgeous property, waterfront on Peaceful Lane in Land O'Lakes, and you've got 8 home sites available, 8 lots. 5 of those are right on Bell Lake. It's a fishing lake, a ski lake in Land O'Lakes. Check out all of our listings at PlatinumMVPTeam.com. PlatinumMVPTeam.com. All right, we got Anthony Ornella. We're going to bring Anthony into the conversation now. Anthony is a wealth advisor, financial advisor, and he is a fiduciary. Big difference in that world of having wealth coaches, people you're talking to about your money. You work so hard to make your money. Let's talk to Anthony now on how to keep and grow that money when it comes to retirement planning.
Yeah, thanks again for having me. Really, really excited to get back on track with part 3 of the 4 challenges of wealth building. But first, a quick recap. So number 1, we had lost opportunity cost, and that's capturing money that you didn't know you were losing. And talk about having extra cash flow right now. That's kind of important, right? Doug talked in the last about saving money on insurance. Where else are you potentially losing money that you didn't know about? Secondly, understanding the rules of financial institutions. They want your money. They want it systematically. They want to hold it on to it for as long as possible, and they want to give it back as slowly as possible. Right now, a lot of employers are canceling their company match during this tough economic time. So is your 401k the right place to be housing your money right now? Maybe, maybe not. So that brings us to number 3, one of my personal favorites, and that is the velocity of money. That means getting your dollar to do more than one job at the same time. When we talk about the Jerrod Bunch, we make money work for people. This is what we are talking about. We make that dollar work so hard that you have to start working less for the money because it's working so hard for you. And that Einstein quote that you let us out in here, Brandon, with is, this is where your mindset has to shift from how you look at money. The velocity of money concept is truly changing that dynamic from saving for retirement to creating a very wealthy life, that life that you truly want to live. Now, I'm going to pose a question to you, Brandon.
Yep.
The average savings rate for retirement in America is 3 to 4%. Why do you think that's the average savings rate?
Wow, yeah, because the challenge has been over the years, and it started with the Great Recession, 2008, is when the Feds started printing money, quantitative easing. What we did is we drove down that savings rate, unfortunately. So the seniors got hit relatively hard as well, if I'm on track with where you're going there, Anthony.
Yeah, well, that's certainly, talk about the rules of the financial institutions, understanding how money actually works. It's unfortunate it's not like math. It functions like money because we can print it and we can burn it just as fast. So it's always adapting. But the average American savings rate is 3 to 4% because that's the company match. That's the 401k match that most companies are giving. And so people are only going to be saving that amount. And so when we talk about the velocity of money concept, you start to view where you save and how you save a little more critically. So when all you've got out there is a 401k, what do you do? Where do you turn? And I would say you look at the challenges. Step one, pay yourself first. Find the lost money. Get yourself to that 15% savings rate. Now that sounds like a very big number, and there's a very reasonable breakdown as to how we get to 15%. But when you're finding money that you didn't know you were losing, getting to 15% is pretty darn easy. So you pay yourself first, and you create your own financial system that's using those financial rules to then allow you to start injecting that velocity of money concept. You create your own banking system inside your own personal economy. And the difference between other banks and your bank is your bank's job is to make you cash flow efficient, making you more efficient with your money, get it working harder for you.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because when you are maximizing the returns and taking into account taxes, taking into account higher interest rate accounts, when you look at potentially doing a refinance, I think is one of the strategies you were going to talk about as well. You can lower your overall household effective rate.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're right on point there. And I think it's great to think about these in concepts, but real hard examples or data that truly bring this home to point. And I think a vast majority of Americans are dealing with levels of debt, either good or bad debt. Everyone's got their opinion on debt. However, let's take that example. Let's say someone is really, really debt focused, and a lot of folks are. So let's take an average American. You've got a house, you get your mortgage, you've got 2 cars, you've got a credit card, and chances are you got a second credit card, and you student loans or a SBA or some kind of business loan out there. So you have 6 areas. Now, keep in mind, this is one aspect where we do find that lost money. All right, but this is where you would go in to find the money to start implementing your velocity of money. You're exactly right, Brandon. Some of that is going to be a restructure. And how do you know which one? You worry about debt in order. And it's in order of a cash flow index or an expense cash flow index. It's something that I do with all my clients is we get all of their liabilities out and we run them through a mathematic formula to find which needs to keep making a minimum payment, which needs to be restructured. That's either a refinance or a renegotiate or something along that line. And then which ones need to be paid off now. And so maybe you're working with Diane Vance at Fairway Independent Mortgage and you get your 15-year to a 30-year. You've got your 1 car loan, that's fine, and your second car loan you refinance because money's cheap right now. Yeah. Your credit cards, they both need to be paid off as soon as possible. Well, I don't have the extra money. Well, we just freed it up with the mortgage. We just freed it up with the auto loan. So you do have the extra money to start hammering those credit cards. Now, what does that do for you? That increases your monthly cash flow some more because you're not paying for credit cards anymore.
Right.
And then the same thing, money's cheap right now. So looking at student loans or some other SBA loan or any kind of other loans you have outstanding, looking to either restructure, pay off, or does it need to keep running minimum payment? And all that does for you is that increases your cash flow. So then you can create your banking system and you get yourself into better situations. Now let's take the debt. Let's keep taking the debt. You take that extra cash flow and you build up your cash reserves, liquidity, which are very important, especially for moments like right now during this crisis. Or you take that extra on top and you start investing it into a strategy. There's a lot of different vehicles out there you can use that allow you to leverage the funds to get after your debt a little bit more, or taking the gains or the earnings of that investment strategy to start paying for your lifestyle. What if your investment started paying for your house? What does that do for your monthly cash flow? It increases it.
Right.
Guess who's living a bigger life today? Guess whose investments are going to start funding your retirement account? You have to take a systematic, rules-based, money not math-based approach, a model that ebbs and flows with the times.
Right.
And that is exactly what we're talking about. The velocity of money concept is getting your dollar to work so hard for you that it's giving you a better life today. Living smaller just to save for retirement today is hard, and that's why most of America doesn't do it, because it's such a big sacrifice. But when you take a different approach, when you take a better approach, a more efficient approach that honestly Jerrod Bunch offers, you can start living a much more wealthy, stress-free life when it comes to your finances and still not sacrifice your tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Think about it from a standpoint of the power of compounding as well. Once you start making these changes, these small improvements, now you're going to have the power of compounding. So reach out to Anthony Ornella, Jerrod Bunch Consulting, if you'd like a review. You can also text our hotline, and Jerrod or Anthony rather will do a review. We'll find out, what's going on. You may have some holes in your boat. You're rowing down the boat, but you got some holes and you might be sinking, and you're rowing a lot harder than you have to. Reach out. We're going to have you reach out to 813-670-7372. More from our expert contributors, Doug Levi, Anthony Ornella, right after this break, and we'll be back with our feel-good story of the day as well.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
But this is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because Weaving TV is working over in Tampa with Dancing with the Stars.
62, who knew? I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill. But actually, it's our 39th week. 62, who knew?
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember anymore. Ask Anthony about
Yes. To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards from Nate.
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left hand white, and then they catch the left hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
As your super connector, we want to introduce you to our 50-plus show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back the right. Got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step image. I love that image because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know
And we're back. Brandon Brimes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team. As you know, we want you to think of our show as the hub of your financial, your business, your real estate, all types of home services, your hub of that financial wheel. And each one of our spokes extending out from that center hub, with the Consumer Quarterback Show being that center hub. We've got experts of all types: real estate credit, finance and estate planning, attorneys, CPAs, financial advisors, insurance experts, financial experts, ways to help you live a better life, save money, make more money. Look at home services. We're going to put you in touch with great contractors that can do the job. They're highly recommended. All the folks that we bring on the show are vetted, and they are the absolute best in their field. And in the area of, for example, with Anthony Ornella, he's a fiduciary. A lot of the wealth advisors aren't fiduciaries, meaning they don't have to put your best interest in front of theirs. That's what this show's about. That's why we've been on air for almost 7 years now, beating that drum of consumer advocacy, helping you understand more about your buying decisions. And when you think about the times that we're in right now, a lot of fear, I feel, is being pushed through the media because they want to control us through fear. And that's the mainstream media, is what we're talking about. The overreaction amongst a lot of folks, so really, zero in, focus on your economies of scale, what you can actually control, and don't let your reticular activation system, in your mind get too out of hand. It's one of those things where if we focus on fear, that's what we're going to see, breathe, hear every day. And you want to make sure you're being cognizant of it, but at the same time, let's not go overboard with this fear stuff, the fear baiting, and what we're finding there. So we've got a great lineup for you today. Doug Levi, Strategic Insurance. He's the insurance quarterback. Got Anthony Ornella as well, Jerrod Bunch Consulting, here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we want to give a shout out here to Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show is Brothers Easy Moving, a local interstate, long distance. They're going to do your packing for you. They can even handle junk hauling for your home or office. Brothers Easy Moving, and the official moving partners of the Consumer Quarterback Show. First-hand experience. My wife and I, our family, had a great experience with Brothers Easy Moving, and that's why we're recommending them to you right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace. I got a cash flowing asset available. It's a commercial property at 1410 North Betty Lane in Clearwater. This is a commercial property, 3-bay car wash, corner lot, a gorgeous, well-maintained property here in Tampa Bay, and it's on Betty Lane in Clearwater. Cash flowing $300 to $500 a week, depending on the week. Certain seasons as well, love bug seasons, of course. You're going to be super busy during that season. Dry season, like we're experiencing right now with the drought that we've got going. A lot of the pollen and other things are falling from the trees. Great opportunity here in Tampa Bay. Cash flowing property. It's only going to take you 2 hours a week to maintain this property and work it and collect the monies, etc. 1410 North Betty Lane. Check out all of our listings at PlatinumMVPTeam.com. PlatinumMVPTeam.com. And coming up, we have our feel-good story of the day. Every day we tell you something positive. So find out about this teacher that's walking 5 miles a day to deliver food to some of the students. It's an awesome story coming up in our feel-good story of the day. All right, so we're going to do a split segment here. We got Doug Levi, insurance quarterback, Anthony Ornella, your wealth quarterback here on the show today. So when you look at, Doug, I want to go to you first. For our listeners out there, you offer that awesome $27 Amazon gift card challenge, the review of your insurance policies on your home, your auto. You got business policies out there, lots of different policies. But let's say somebody wants to hire, they're interviewing right now. They just might happen to be in an interview process to find an insurance agent that they feel comfortable with, or potentially making a switch. What would be the top 2 or 3 questions that you would ask an insurance, professional?
Absolutely. I want to know a few things. How many carriers do they have access to? Are they slotting me with just one carrier or 2 carriers? Or are they independent? So our agency, we're independent. If you call and want to review your homeowners and auto, we have access to over 20 carriers. So that would be one. How many carriers do they have access to? And then the other thing is, do they have an approach or an system to help manage my costs each year? And so here's where I'm going with that. At our agency, if you become a client of our agency here at Strategic Insurance, we actually have a process in place that we start working about 60 days before your renewal to do a review of the market for you, because our agency and our model is built on keeping clients for life. We actually, our program, our customer service training, we call clients for life. We want to keep our clients for life. And to do that, we know we have to shop each year. We want to be competitive with them. If I place you with Progressive Auto Insurance this year, they may or may not be the best option next year. And we actually have a system and the technology and the team to do that, to help manage those costs for you year in and year out, so you can feel confident with what you've got.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. We're talking with Doug Levi here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, insurance specialist, TampaBayInsurance.com, InsuranceSideHustle.com here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So those are great questions to ask, and looking at that review policy of your policies, it's a great time to do that. What else are you seeing in the insurance space, Doug?
The other big thing I would say right now, and this is really for the business owners out there, and this is getting a lot of attention just in general in the media, is do you have business interruption insurance or business income insurance?
Yes.
And in fact, even President Trump mentioned it at a press conference a few days ago. So in general, it's a coverage we always recommend. It's meant for things like fire, pipe breaks and causes of flood, hurricane, some actual damage to your building. Or if you rent, if your office or your space is damaged. And that's coverage that will then step in and help replace income while the rest of the building or contents are being repaired. That's a big one right now.
Absolutely. Okay, same question to you, Anthony Ornella, Jerrod Bunch Consulting, financial advisor, wealth coach. What we want to know is, what are the questions that you would ask if you're interviewing a financial advisor? You're thinking about making a switch, or you're just getting into the whole idea of, hey, I'm going to hire a financial advisor. I'm going to trust somebody with my money. What would I want to know? What should I know?
I love this question. In fact, we coach all of our clients to interview all of their financial folks, whether it's a realtor, insurance agent, investment advisor, anybody. Just that's one of our roles as a fiduciary, is to make sure that everybody is in line with their own personal goals and personal philosophy. And that's where I start. Anybody, doesn't matter what line of work they're in, what's your philosophy? Simple question. What's your philosophy? And just see where it takes you, because that's going to be very telling to see, do they, or the organization that they work with, do they have core values? Do they have a set approach? Do they have a mission? What do they represent? And so their philosophy, regardless of industry, is going to be so telling. Is that person a top tier professional? Outside of that, I think some of the other really good questions are, who do you represent? Very similar to what Doug said. Who do you represent? Are you a fiduciary? Do you if they say, well, I represent you, I think you're working with somebody that's good.
Yeah.
You know, if they're like, well, I work with this person and we write through this person or we invest through this person, that means that maybe they have to answer to somebody first before they answer to you. But if they say you, that's the one you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Commission-based advice. You know, you think about commission-based advice. It's so prevalent in our community, and that was another reason, you know, that we started this show. Is about, you know, everywhere you look, there's commission breath just coming at you. You know, commission breath. So, and it was interesting. You know, we've had Jerrod Robbins on the show. That's Tony Robbins' son. And he said it was an interesting quote that he had, and he talked about. You know, we all get hit up for, hey, your SEO could be better, or your website could be better. He said, okay, yeah, here's the website. Take a look at it. And then the guy comes back and says, oh yeah, I would change this, this, and this, without asking him the number one question that you would want to know: how is the site currently performing? Right? You know,
absolutely.
How's the site currently performing? That's the number one thing you want to know. Oh, well, if it's already, you know, kicking butt and you're getting lots of ROI from it, why would you change anything? You know?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, give people a baseline of, hey, and that happens to us too. You know, our models for, especially on the investment side, are spectacular, but there's other people that do spectacular work out there. And if I'm recommending that they get out of a model that's working for them, that is in line with their investor DNA, I'm not a true fiduciary. I'm not a true fiduciary if I'm putting, you got to be with me if you want, you know, what I've got to offer. That's not right. It is just not right. Two more questions, if I can add to it, that I would always say, especially when it comes, if you're talking purely investment talk. Do you have a rules-based approach or an evidence-based approach? unfortunately, a majority of the time they're going to say, I'm sorry, I don't understand the question. There's a lot of people that are going to try to pick them or time the market or do types like that. That just doesn't work. Just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So, and then how do you get paid? That's another good one.
It.
They have transparency in how they get paid. I think it's a really important one.
That's a big one. How do you get paid? What is it coming out of my costs? Are you making a percentage of what you help me gain? I think that's a key part when you look at when an advisor is going to give you advice, and some of the non-fiduciary folks out there, they might be good people, they're supporting their family, but the thing is, if they're not a fiduciary, they have limited amount of carriers or investors, however you want to word it, frame that. And as the user, as the end user, the person that's investing through that conduit, you're not having access to some of the better products, potentially better products. And I don't claim to be into tune of which way's the best. I know what I personally do, but when it comes to you as a an investor, I think it's important that we would highly recommend you reach out to Anthony, let him do a review on your your financial advisor and find out what you have in there. Ask those questions. What are you paying? Those are important. Reach out to Doug Levi, insurance expert. Let him take a look at what's in your plans, your home, your auto, your business. Look at those policies and find out, hey, am I leaving some money on the table? A penny earned, a dollar earned is a dollar gained, right? And so you look at that, and right now is a slow time to do it. So reach out to our hotline. We'd love to talk to you, 813-670-7372, and we'll put you right in touch with our expert contributors, 813-670-7372. When we come back, we have our feel-good story of the day. A teacher walking 5 miles a day to deliver free school meals to kids who need it most. Follow us online at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter, and the Consumer Quarterback Show page on Facebook. We'll be right back. And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show. We greatly appreciate you hanging out with us here, spending some time listening to our show. And we put a lot of work and energy into delivering great content for you as a consumer advocate, helping you understand your buying decisions, making you just a bit more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. That's our goal here. And my wife and I own a top team at Keller Williams Realty. We're top producers, and we are actually out of the #1 office for all Keller Williams, all real estate, any other other real estate brands for the entire Mid-Florida Regional MLS out of the Tri-County area, Pinellas, Hillsborough, Pasco. The office has 489 agents, and we are a top team at that office, actually the number one team for January of this year out of all those agents. But we'd love to serve you, serve your family with the highest level of customer service. You know, one of my former jobs when I first came out of school was at the Ritz-Carlton, so I learned the true meaning of first-class service. It's my pleasure, and we really carry that through our businesses now. And you're going to get expert advice with us. You know, we're certified negotiation expert, branding expert. I actually teach branding and negotiation at both the realtor boards here in Tampa Bay. My wife, Lindsay, is a feng shui expert, so she can help with the design. She's a sales trainer as well. She's trained and operated multiple businesses in the $40 million plus range per year. So you're in good hands when you work with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Check out 260 Lyndhurst Street in Dunedin, by the way. This is a gorgeous home close to the Fenway Hotel. You literally walk to the Fenway for dinner and drinks at 260 Lyndhurst Street in Dunedin. And you've got the water views at the end of the street as well of the intercoastal waterways here in Tampa Bay. Also, take a look at 19206 US Highway 19. This is a commercial property that would be perfect for a 1031 exchange for a savvy business owner looking for a 1031 exchange at 19206 US Highway 19 North in Clearwater. This is a regional, currently occupied by a regional tenant that is a car dealership, but the property is great condition, corner lot in a highly visible area on 19 in Clearwater. So check out all of our real estate listings at PlatinumMVPteam.com, PlatinumMVPteam.com. And I want to give a shout out to Two Maids and a Mop. Right now, you might want to get your home clean. You're thinking about detoxing or looking at, some of the germs and the viruses that are kind of in the home potentially. Two Maids and a Mop. They do a great job cleaning, home cleaning service based right out here in Pinellas County. Two Maids and a Mop, Tabitha and her team. They do a great job. They clean our house personally, and I highly recommend them. Reach out to Two Maids and a Mop. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you, and take them up on the special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, every day we're going to tell you something positive here in our feel-good story of the day, and then we're going to get right back into it with Doug Levi and Anthony Ornella here on the show. But this is a pretty cool story. You got an assistant head teacher in England that's ensuring his students will still have access to free school meals by walking more than 5 miles every day to deliver them by hand. Zane Palace, who works at Western Primary School in Grimsby, hauls huge bags filled with school meals for 100 students each day. Palace also uses daily lunch to check on the welfare of the children he visits. He puts the packed lunch on the doorstep, knocks on the door, and then waits on the pavement or in the garden until they're picked up. Quote, I am doing this so that the children and their parents don't have to come out to collect their meals. Otherwise, they would be passing other people in the street, and it makes it sure to get at least one meal a day. The other staff is delivering food by car, and it's a big team effort, he says, but what a cool teacher, going that extra mile, delivering those meals. Feel good story of the day. Every day we're going to tell you something positive here on our feel good story of the day with the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, now we're going to go back to our expert contributors here. We got Doug Levi. He's an insurance expert, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, TampaBayInsurance.com, InsuranceSideHustle.com, also teaching folks how to grow their business and how to potentially create a side income stream, InsuranceSideHustle.com. Anthony Ornella, he is a financial advisor, Jerrod Bunch Consulting. So, guys, it's time for the lightning round. Let's jump into it. Got the lightning round here. All right, Doug Levi, you're up first, sir. Give us some top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom.
I'll give you one, and it's from my book. I wrote a book called Surviving the Insurance Jungle. Again, if you want to look to save money right now on your insurance, call us. We'll be happy to do a review. At the very least, look to take your deductibles up. So one thing that holds true with all insurance, the higher the deductible, doesn't matter whether it's my car insurance, my home insurance, my business insurance, my health insurance, the higher the deductible, the lower the premium. So you can take your deductible up and achieve some cost savings doing that.
Great point. I love that. Great idea. Anthony Ornella, top tips.
So things that you pay attention to survive, grow, and prosper. And so right now, if you do have, some people don't have extra time, but if you do have extra time, if you are working from home, take the time to evaluate your current financial position. And if you're not happy with it, start doing something about it. Doug just gave a great example right there. You raise your deductible. Well, I can't pay that deductible if I need to. Well, then save it, set it aside, put it somewhere where it can stash and be protected and grow. And so you can pay for the deductible if and when you need to. So it's all about your mindset, all about your perspective, and working with a team that'll help you get there is the key to success.
Absolutely. I love that. I'm gonna go back to a good, solid base function here in business, in life, is it's the power of focus. And was listening, when you think about what you're focusing on, it's going to expand. You're going to put energy there. It's natural for the human. Once we're reading that or we're watching it on TV, the power of focus is going to really just take us to that point in our mind. And it reminds me of one time I was on a trip. I was on a ski trip out in Lake Tahoe, and we were skiing. I was following one of my friends that was a better skier than me. This was my either first or second time skiing, and I followed him, and I actually committed to the downhill slope, which was a black. So anybody that knows, when you look at a black versus some of the other colors, you made a pretty big commitment by doing that. And once you make that commitment, it's not like you can turn around and go up the mountain, right? You're already going downhill. So I had committed to this black, and this was one of my first times or second times out on a ski trip like this. But when I did, I had two choices. I could either focus on failing, I could focus on going off the side of the mountain or hitting a tree and having the worst case scenario play out, or I could focus on doing the best that I could with the principles and the basics that I have at that time. So that's what I did. I kind of went back on my heels. I leaned back, and I was just kind of taking it slow. And if you've ever been a snowboarder, you can do that. So if you lean back, you take your time, but the focus, right? The focus is the key takeaway here. What you focus on is going to expand. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. So please make sure you're focusing on the right things at this time of day. All right, let's do another round. Doug, Levi, give me some more top tips, nuggets of advice, sir.
So we're in an environment right now where there's a lot of people that are scared. There's so much focusing on the negative and what's going to happen to me and the sky is falling. A great way to get out of that mindset is go look for someone else you can serve. Go help someone else. Go find someone in your neighborhood that's hurting, that just lost their job, that may be elderly and by themselves, and look for a way to serve them. And it's amazing how that'll change your mindset, your attitude, and your perspective.
Wow. Right on point, man. It's impossible to be depressed. Sometimes people say, oh, well, I'm depressed, or I'm in this, and it's, oh, poor me. Well, what Doug just said, go out and serve, go out and help someone else, because there's others that definitely have it worse than you do. Do you have running water? Do you have a vehicle to drive? Those are things. So great point, Doug. I love that one. Anthony Ornella.
That is near impossible to follow up, Doug. That was awesome. Really, that random act of kindness is huge. But let's get back to money. Take a look as to where your money is flowing right now, and is that the best place? Were you a hardcore 401k saver, and then the coronavirus hit, and you had no liquidity? Repositioning your money to do what it needs to do. Retirement is good, and you should be planning for the future, but can you get past tomorrow? Tomorrow is going to be here a lot faster than 30 years from now, 20 years from now, 15 years from now. So making sure your money is strategically placed and it's working for you the way it should be.
Absolutely. So one of the things too, if you look at how the most successful people in the world, how the rich get richer, and really the opposite of that is the poor get poor, is focusing on strategy. What is your strategy going forward? You want to get perspective, get new voices, find out who's gotten where you want to be, who's already reached that goal that you've attained, that you want to attain, and then re-engineer, right? Look at it. So I want to go over just briefly, Stephen Covey's 7 Habits. He's got 7 habits of highly effective people. If you haven't heard of the book, it's one of the number 1 downloads on Audible, one of the top business books, leadership books. Number 1, be proactive. Making sure you're a self-starter. Number 2, begin with the end in mind. That way you know what your end goal is and how to work back from that, right? Think of each step up as a rung on the ladder, and you're going to reach that if you just take one step at a time. Number 3, put first things first. Again, it's about personal management, organizing your time, your events, the self, organizing and executing around priorities. Number 4, think win-win. This is a huge one. This is one of the things that I've really focused on with my my career is, how can I create a win-win situation with, show partners, with clients, with lots of folks that are in my sphere. I want it to be a win-win relationship or no deal. I don't want to do a deal if it's not a win-win. Number 5, seek first to understand and then to be understood. So that's the true empathy that Chris Voss talks about when he's negotiating, the FBI hostage negotiator that we had on the show. True empathy, understanding where the other person's coming from, no matter where, if you agree with their standing or not, you've got to understand the other side before you can, understand your counterpart before you can truly come to a decision. So I really like that one. Number 6 is synergize. You never know, especially right now with the economic times, you can explore synergies with a lot of other businesses and companies, and you're going to be able to have a lot of opportunity there. And number 7, habit 7 is always sharpen the saw, get better, self-improvement, personal development. What can you do on a daily basis? And it's easier now than ever to listen to a podcast, listen to a YouTube video. So, hey, I want to thank our expert contributors, Doug Levi, Strategic Insurance, $27 Amazon gift card challenge for a review on your insurance. Anthony Ornella, Jerrod Bunch Consulting. Great show, guys. We appreciate you. Thanks to all of our team, our producers out there, helping us put this show together and coming up with a lot of the great content. And we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Pack up some clothing, some food or clothing, hand it to that person that you see in need. Be a force for good in the community. Serve others. And we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Check out consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for The Consumer Quarterback Show.